Happy Earth Week, you guys. It's week 4 of remote learning, and this week's projects is going to revolve around recycling and using recycling materials to make the piece of art. Breakdown of the week, you guys are going to start off with the circle question. These were actually brought down from administration, so you may be answering them in other classes or have already done that. So the first 3 are directed from Mr. Bailey and his staff, just to kind of get a gauge of how this remote learning is going for you guys. So is the length of assignment long enough? And think about it only for studio art. Are you able to budget your time so that you can get all the parts of the assignments done on time? How are the clarity of instructions? Do you know where to find the assignment, what to do when you are there? And then the last part was my own question. I wanted to know what you thought about the assignment itself. Is it too easy, too hard? Do you find it to be valuable for you? It's difficult kind of doing this remotely as far as wanting to do some drawing stuff with you. I know some people panic with drawing, so I'm trying to balance that out by giving you a little bit more design projects so that you can think that way. So the video link this week is the artist Michael Albert, and I'm going to be showing you a book of his work in just a minute. And then for the art journal, you will be using the prompt Earth Day. Okay. So Michael Albert is an American artist. He went to school in New York, actually not to be an artist, but to be a business major, and stumbled upon creating art as kind of like a thing to do in his free time, and it became fruitful, and he is a well-known artist, and he works with packaging. So what he does is take recycled material, cut it into all sorts of pieces, and then adheres it to a cardboard backing. So taking iconic things, products that you all know and you probably have seen in the grocery stores or in your pantry, cuts them apart and puts them back together, but you still recognize what it is. So here's his Frosted Flakes, and he calls this Portrait of an American Classic. Cheerios. And then in this one, he just took strips and lined up all the strips kind of differently to create that effect. He calls it boardwalk effect. The Trix, sorry, I'm getting Lucky Charms in there too. Trix and Captain Crunch. I'm going to come back to this because that kind of inspired me. I like the way it spiraled around the captain's face there. Cracker Jack and the camel soup can. So to make a collage in his style, you need to have cardboard packaging, scissors, a glue stick, something to actually adhere the collage to, your workspace, time, and a pen to sign your work. He also says to date it, so that might be something you want to include as well. So last night I worked on Mr. Applejack and finished him up this afternoon. And then as I was kind of preparing, I thought I was going to, have one done and then demonstrate on a second one, and save the Lucky Charms box as well. And actually, I really like the pastel colors going on in the back, so when I do a collage with this one, I'm going to be using that instead of the front. Okay, and then if you don't have any cardboard kind of things, you can use something like newspaper or any other kind of colorful advertisement. I guess it doesn't even have to be colorful. It could be just a printed page like that, and that would be pretty interesting. Okay, so whatever you have available at home. So then, as I was getting recycling together, I went, oh, I really like the pattern on the tissue box. So I cut it apart, and I have two going on here, okay? So as I was working on the Apple Jacks, I didn't like how much the cardboard came through, and I could have really put all the pieces closer and closer together so that you wouldn't see the cardboard, but I wanted it to look similar to how Michael Albert worked. So for this one, I decided I will cut out pieces, and I'm going to place it actually on the pattern background, okay? So I'm not going to get too fussy with this. And off camera, I will kind of clean it up a little bit, okay, and glue that down. This one decided to show you a little bit more what you could be doing. So look, it's really small in scale. It's probably 4 by 5, and then just cut strips with a pair of scissors. Okay, strips of cardboard, and I'm just laying them down kind of randomly, however I like the pattern. And I have them hanging off because I don't want, I was deliberate, I don't want the logos as part of the design. I just want it to be the print of the box itself. Even this piece has just a little bit of print on it, so I'm going to try to eliminate that and let that hang off. So once that's all glued down, then I can go back and trim the edges, okay? So if you do not have a glue stick, you can use tape, if you have tape, or packaging tape, or even regular school glue. And if you don't have any of that, just lay out your pattern the way you like it, take a picture with your Chromebook, and submit it that way. If you're doing something a little bit larger like this, the box, and I would just be very careful about the small parts, because what was happening was, as I started laying it out, I was changing my mind and things were moving and shifting too much. I'm like, no, I have to start gluing it down. So if you don't have glue and you just need to lay things out that way, I would err on the side of using a smaller kind of surface area to work with and larger pieces, okay? So I can't wait to see what you guys create. I hope you enjoyed the video about Michael Albert, and do something good for the environment this week. Maybe go for a walk and pick up some trash, but make sure you have gloves on, and hope to see you guys soon. Have a good week.